I'm Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we got Elliott fucking Wilson explaining himself. Well, not explaining himself, but responding to and addressing the backlash that he's been receiving for dissing Cameron and Mace. Now he's doing this on the podcast by Savon and Alex, the Need to Know pod. Shout out to them. I'm going to listen to what Elliott Wilson has to say.
The athletes. Tom Brady retires, he immediately is going to be offered a broadcasting job at a major situation. So that's no different than what Joe did or Nori did or what Gilly did or what Cam eventually did. Maybe because Cam did it later and Cam was talked about he wasn't going to do it back then, but then found a way to do it. You know, you can step back and say, okay, like that's different. But
and they're not like Cam and Mace, they're not half-assing it either, where they're just looking for a check. As you pointed out, they're in the suits and
yeah, I'm gonna say this right now. Elliott Wilson sounds slighted. Like he sound like y'all was dissing a nigga like me for doing what y'all are doing now. And now y'all are taking the spotlight from a nigga like me because y'all are doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Yeah, Elliott's he hating.
in the set, so it's like that's why I respect their show. They're not just doing it for a quick buck, but they really had this dream and like they went for it.
Yeah, and Treasure said that how much Cam prepares for things, and 95% prepares for things, and it's taking it seriously, and the work ethic it does take. That's what we see what Joe Budden's success was. Like if you have the work ethic and you're putting the thing in, that can't hate that. Hating on that just looks silly and dumb. But again, I think that I have my moments of frustration.
Elliott, that was some D1
and
hate,
I think
buddy.
that I keep going down that same path. So I guess. Starting with you guys, I think I want to try. Maybe you should text me immediately next time I do it. But I want to try to stop getting myself in these situations. I have a place to be critical now of artists and their moves, just like you guys. But I don't want to critique my peers or things like that, or pocket watch, or get so caught up in the numbers and things like that, and act like if a gambling company doesn't cut me a big bag, then my content's not worthy, and get caught up in that type of stuff. But it's hard not to.
It's definitely tricky, but one of the missing components, because I heard how you said Cam and Mace, they invested a lot of money into it. They had a vision, they put it together. The X factor in all of these things is also the talent that they have, right? Like there's not many
funny guys.
There's not many. You put them on the same level as a 50 Cent when it came to just personality and cutting ass and cracking jokes and just being a trendsetter. Like he's a trailblazer in hip hop, right?
Can't teach funny.
For that to
Cam's
translate,
the ultimate hustler
he's always been that guy.
it is what it is. It is really dope. Like, so I was really confused when you said Stephen A. Smith.
No, I said
He walking around like he's
as
Stephen
a
A.
sports
Smith.
insider, right? Of sorts.
Or like he thinks he's this major sports journalist.
Again, to me, it's almost like, again, I think Stephen A. Smith has become a celebrity now.
Yes.
But Stephen A. Smith is just like me and Reg. He's a journalist. He read for newspapers. He did behind the scenes. Nobody knew what it looked like for many years. He had to become that. Skip Bayless helped pull him out of that. So again, there's just a whole different always battle of like the traditional journalists. I don't want journalists to feel like they have to become famous to make a good living. And right now, there's such an imbalance in the marketplace.
That's deep.
That the celebrity is going to get those advantages. So I'm saying he's walking around like he's this person because he has now a jump start to be in the area where he has that. And to Stephen A's credit, that was the whole debate in sports with new media, right? All these athletes, Draymond Green, blah, blah. And Stephen A, to his credit, smartly, unlike Elliott, embraces this and goes on their platforms and treats them like they deserve that because they're in the space. And you got to be comfortable where you're at with your space, that you're not looking at that as a threat,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Also, just remembering, everybody's a fan of you, yo.
Yeah,
I know it's hard to see
I think everybody respects me, but except when I wild out do something, and then I lose
that's
that
what
respect.
I'm saying.
That's why I don't want to lose that respect, because then being older, you seem like, I think Maul said the thing, you seem like the old bitter guy that don't get no play in the park.
For sure.
Yeah, nobody's gonna call my number. It's like, I don't want to be that guy.
And then there's also like a digital footprint when we seen you with Cam. Like I saw you interview Cam on Rap Radar.
Yeah, we did a great interview
and that
with
was
Cam.
one of my favorite interviews. I remember when that dropped. Cam wasn't as vocal at that point.
That was a turning point.
We didn't really see Cam that much at that point when he interviewed.
I think we always never had the best rapport either, to be frank. I think that people view me, he's had his differences obviously with Jay-Z. People view me as somebody cool with Jay-Z. I think they had their moment when he came back on the B-Sides 2 show, and that was cool. But then he even said after that he didn't really like the interaction with Jay after that. So I think there's always kind of been not a great rapport with me and him individually. Dipset, Diplomats, I didn't believe at the time, and I was grossly wrong, that they was as nationally successful as they were building. Like I thought they were just New York successful. And with New York rappers, sometimes I would do split covers. I would say, okay, Jadakiss, I love you, but I can't sell Jadakiss cover in all 50 states at this time when Knock Yourselves Out. So I would do Nelly and do Jadakiss. And I would do Jadakiss in these 10 markets all down the East Coast. And I would do Nelly in the Midwest and all the West Coast. And it'd be hugely successful. I'd split Fat Joe and T.I. I split Beanie Siegel and Lil Wayne.
Damn.
I didn't believe in Lil Wayne. I thought Juvenile was gonna be the guy. So Wayne's gonna be the guy. Like we didn't believe in Kanye. It's like, so you make those mistakes. So I kept sleeping on Dipset, and then they would do source covers and things like that. And then when it became undeniable is when Jim had his success with Ballin'.
Right.
So Jim got We Ballin'. Let's do the Dipset cover. Then come to find out, as 50 Cent exposed, at that time Cam and Jim weren't good.
Yeah.
So then it's like, if you're Cam, it's like you're gonna give me this look now, but it's like it's not so. It never was the best rapport in general. But that the outside layer of that was, to do that Rap Radar one, it was a key thing for him because he wasn't super media friendly back then. Didn't embrace the podcast space like that, and it was a great interview. So there's respect there. But I definitely, and again, it was unprompted. I went at them. It was unprompted.
Yeah.
So it was just wrong.
Well, I need you to get a message to Cameron. All right, because I just need you to get a message to Cameron because, again, I remember there was a clip that was circulating where he was shouting out a ton of people who's in the space who kind of helped him and assisted him. He named like Gilbert Arenas. He named Gillian Wallow, Stephen A. Smith. Like he named a lot of people in our space that he was like, yo, when I wanted to get into it, these are the guys who kind of pushed me in that direction or gave me the guidance that I needed when I didn't really know. Because this is a new game for everybody, especially him at that time. But even somebody like you and him, and I'm sure you saw it on Instagram, he got the jokes and all of this shit. But this is also an opportunity if, he's ever willing, and if you're ever willing, for us to show, we can make things right. Right? Like, I got it wrong. And you said it on this podcast. And I'm sure he has the respect for you as a journalist and what it is that you built, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like what you said about him. You can't deny his career as an artist.
And they ran a clip on the other side, and they thought it was a response to me, but it was a clip they already had where they were talking about, look, like, hate it or love it, we're the new source, we're the new leaders. So, Cam has a competitive fire.
For sure.
So should he feel like he's Stephen A. Smith? He should. He's from hip hop. He has that fire. So, but again, to your point, what he says, if he does do all his due diligence with the shit, researching things, putting his own money up, work ethic, putting the time in, professionalism, got Mace focus, showing like what would we think Mace is gonna have a job and go to a set every day and do
in
that, like you said, in a
personality.
suit. You know what I'm saying? And Mace would give us shit and go away.
Yeah.
You know what Mace do back.
Now you get to see him on a consistent level.
Yeah.
Right,
so
right.
and them to repair their relationship, right? So all those things are great things. But I have to stop measuring myself. Like you guys said, even with your that's why it's your strategy. You look at your own data and you get motivated by that.
Right.
And that's how you look at what your situation is. So it's really about you running your own race, whether it's cliche. I struggle.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're all running our own race, Elliott, and you've been running this race for a long time, buddy, and you're doing a great job. So no D1 hate towards Cameron, because Cameron and Mace are doing a great job as well. I fuck with It Is What It Is sports talk podcast that they got going on. It's a fun little show to listen to. I fuck with what Elliott has going on with DJ Head and Jeremy Heck, The Bigger Picture. That's a fun little show to listen to. Hell, shout out to Savon and Alex. I see Savon was trying to play peacemaker at the end there. I'll fuck with it. I see what he's trying to do. But either way, hopefully Elliott and Cameron can have a discussion and Elliott was just sauced. I don't know why Rory and Maul got Elliott that drunk. They got that nigga drunk. He was just sauced. He was shooting off the hip. Like, fuck Cameron. Well, everybody was like, whoa. Whoa. What you mean? What you say fuck him for? Everybody was shocked. But, hey, man. A drunk man tells no lies. That's how Elliott truly feel, if you think about it. I'm not mad at that, though, At the end of the day, he did, put boots to the ground when it comes to the whole journalism thing, as he was speaking on in the clip. And so for Cameron to be a rapper and to be doing the rap thing and not really fucking with journalists and then get to a point in your career where you can't rap anymore but you still want to stay relevant and still want to stay in the light. So the best way to do that is to get into media like every other rapper that's doing that right now. So you can't be mad at them for it. At the end of the day, hell, it is what it is. Shout out to them. Either way, let me know what y'all think about what Elliott had to say in the comments below and responding to the backlash that he received, or at least addressing the backlash he received from dissing Elliott on Rory's and Maul's podcast. Let me know in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike, and this, as always, is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.